folks. Welcome back. This is episode 7 already of the Spring 61 CSA campaign for Grand Tacticians in Civil War 1861 to 65. I think I fixed the problem now that you can actually hear the music from the game, which I've commented on previously. I think it's generally very, very good, and so hopefully you can hear that. Be more interesting than hearing me as I drone on about whatever. But we are loaded up. We're going to see if the save loads. I'm not sure. I mentioned, I think in the first episode, that the patch had just gone live after I started this campaign, and many other people apparently started campaigns after that patch went live, and they've been saying that it basically is unplayable, which is kind of the opposite experience I've had, which is I started just before the patch, and things seem to be as playable as they've ever been. Starting to see some of the tweaks in terms of the advice that they give you on the loading screens, which is an improvement. I think some of the, well, we'll see what it looks like when we get in there. Others have been complaining, if they started a new campaign, that the states that seceded, Virginia, North Carolina, I believe, were still showing up blue. Haven't experienced that. They're clearly in the red here, but they seceded before that patch went live. Kansas here, which was one of our policies, was to get it, still in the Union, but that was already a known issue with this campaign. So we're gonna pick up where things left off, and I'll get myself oriented here. So this is Beauregard. I believe last time, just near the end. Huh. I thought last time we had Kentucky secede. Let's go back to our brief history, because we're only on April 13th. War's been going on maybe 5 weeks. I don't see anything in here that recalls Kentucky seceding. But then again, I also don't see anything that recalls Missouri seceding, and it did. But yeah, on the map it still shows up as Union, although support for the CSA is 77%, so it might just be probably a polished thing. Now, I thought I'd taken St. Joseph, Missouri in the previous one. Maybe I'm misremembering that. But anyways, I know that this army out here, it's not in the best strategic position, but I am going out to see if they've fixed what I believe to be a bug where you could not cut trade, Union trade to the west. You could take the nodes and all the roads leading to it, and it would still show up as Union. So we'll see if that one's been addressed. It's minor, but we're in beta testing here and early release, and so we're checking these things out. Alright, looks like Chase is ready to move. We can probably move Chase. No sense just barely crossing into Indiana. Might as well move up and take Indianapolis. You can see it's a crossroads. Gives us a lot of opportunities to move after that. Beauregard. Okay, good. You're still in defensive, which ironically usually makes them more likely to engage in a battle. Why don't we send you up to Columbus? The Army of the Northwest there already. Send you up to Columbus and then maybe on up into Michigan. We'll see how things go. But it seems like we've cleared out a lot of the Union forces in western Pennsylvania and eastern Ohio. I really don't see... Yikes, I don't see much at all. So this might be the time to take Porterfield, and we can raid pretty far north into Pennsylvania. Why not? haven't done this before. Haven't gone this far north into Pennsylvania. I usually call it quits around Harrisburg because there's been a fort around Philadelphia that I can't take, even though it's not heavily garrisoned, and so only fighting the battles that I'm pretty sure we can win. It looks like we can snatch Harrisburg back, but I want to get Baltimore first. Okay, that's actually not a fort, so we can probably move. A little bit further south. If you haven't followed this, I'm trying to avoid contacting Union forts, just because my experience from previous campaigns has been that very, very large CSA forces will lose to very small Union forces in those forts. And again, I haven't had the experience yet in this run through, but they tend to break our armies, and we'll have huge armies that break for taking no casualties, and then I'll never get them to rally and be able to do anything. And that's usually about the time that I call this campaign. Call it quitting time in those campaigns, because it's just ridiculous. Even though the Union army is usually evaporating, for whatever reason, the morale shock of losing no men in a siege battle just devastates a 10,000 plus man army. So we have some plans. Really, Hampton's division hasn't been doing much. I've just been moving back to take Williamsburg and then moving up here, because these tend to revert to Union control. Fredericksburg. Thought I just got that notification, so I hope we're not in one of these constant notification loops where they just tell me things I kind of already know. It may not have been. It may have been that I finished researching it and then the AI did. Looks like we're gonna have enough funds. Well, we raised that last time. Maybe not. We do have enough funds for the last policy, again, because I really don't care about debt, because war has been quite short, and if it is a problem, there are ways to raise revenue and get this working a little more smoothly. I'll go for the final policy. It looks like I'm going to be able to get. There is what I believe is a bug still, that sometimes you can't choose a new policy unless you first select an act. And just so, if you're not familiar with the game at all, these items directly below the title are the policies. I know in previous videos I've referred to pretty much everything as a policy or an act interchangeably, but the things that are straight down and frequently numbered, but not always, but industrialization 2, King Cotton 3, military 2, diplomacy 4, and so on. Those are the policies, and that's what you can raise subsidies to get more of. The acts tend to be in branches off of those. And there's usually, with most of these policies, there's some positive and some negative. Sometimes it's a short-term positive or a long-term negative. Sometimes it's the reverse. Sometimes time isn't really the issue, but maybe you'll get longer recruitment, but you'll get less interest in recruitment. So that happens as you research the militia acts, which are not properly part of any policy tree. You start out the game being able to select Militia Act 1. I don't select these, Militia Act 2 and 3, because it would seem to depress morale or enthusiasm in the states to join. And so I usually just snag the Conscription Act, which forces everybody I recruit into 3-year contracts, no matter what they were originally enrolled in. Maybe it doesn't matter to select these acts once the Conscription Act is up, but I'll assume that maybe there is, and so I'm just going to leave it deselected. I don't do these not because I'm not that concerned about the diplomacy aspect of it. It just doesn't seem to me to get me all that much, and I largely ignore the naval element of this. So if you really love Civil War, Navy stuff, you're not going to like any of these videos. I'm stuck between whether I want to choose Impressment or Print Notes 2. I guess I like the balance of positive versus negative on the Impressment Act. I don't see that much downside in-game yet from printing notes. The downside is supposed to be that basically you're going to inflate the currency, or you're going to inflate prices, reducing the purchasing power of the currency, and so you there's a long-term cost to this, but you get cash and you need it. The campaign never seems to go long enough for the reduction in national wealth to take effect, but still I'm going to choose the Impressment Act. I thought we had the subsidies. We didn't. So maybe I didn't even need to choose that, but now we should be able to select our last policy, and we're not. So I may have to choose Print Notes anyways. Yeah, see, and there it triggered, so that we could get government funding too. I really don't know if it's worth it. I've never made it into Chapter 3, and so maybe I'll hold that, and if the financial situation becomes desperate, I'll take government funding too, and I'll select one or more of the acts that come with it. But I think I'm okay for now. Slavery restriction. Yeah, I don't really care about European opinion, and the war's not gone that long yet that I see the need to do this. Not really sure what the positive and negative of that would be. So anyways, let's get back to it. I mean, those are relatively insignificant. Right. Call is moving. I don't see a whole lot else. I think Chase is going to Indianapolis. I think once he gets up there, I may send him up. We taken Chicago. We haven't taken Chicago, but I'm not seeing that much standing in our way, so I think he'll go up to the west of Lake Michigan, try to take some of the cities and towns here. I'm thinking with Beauregard, move him up north, take over much of Michigan. We should have Porterfield moving in to take northern Pennsylvania, and that's where things stand. Trying to see what is left of mobile Union forces. It looks like the Department of Virginia, which is basically evaporated at this point, is all that is left besides the fortifications. I've expressed ad nauseum why I'm reluctant to engage those. I really don't. I do need to if I want to take Washington. I've done it twice in other campaigns. It does deal the morale blow. One would expect that. Actually seems to be pretty well balanced. Annapolis would be nice, but it's unnecessary. But we have to look at Fort McHenry here, Stevens here, and Washington here. I think Washington ends up covering Alexandria. So if I wanted to move in Alexandria proper and take it, I'd have to do that. We'll see if I can get into Baltimore again without engaging any of the forts. Yeah, 2-year contracts. I wonder if I move an army here and build a fort, if that'll just hold Williamsburg in my camp. I mean, as we scroll over Maryland, we can see more than half supports the CSA. Delaware is even 5 percentage points higher than Maryland. Confederacy printing new notes. Yep. And we're moving. We're moving as fast as we can. First Corps is on the move. It's an actual army, though. Did I see they don't have any guns? They have no artillery. That we'll see if that's actually accurate. I don't think my intelligence gathering is that great. It's not a priority relative to other things, which is getting the economy moving, getting numbers into the field. All right, so we're sending Chase. Send him up to No, let's take Milwaukee. Beauregard has arrived. I think we'll send him up to Detroit, yeah. And the papers say, huh, I don't think I've seen yet that we can move, that the British would allow us to move overland to take Detroit, unless that's not what it's actually trying to show us, but we'll see how that goes. That's something new. It seemed to be historically problematic if the British were allowing CSA forces to basically use British territory to launch attacks. Oh, we have a battle. Let's see what it is. Is it going to tell me what I'm... Battle of Baltimore. Oh, it is against the Department of Virginia, which had basically nobody, if I recall. This may not be the most interesting battles. If in fact it's only 500 men that I'm fighting against with no artillery, it's probably going to be a bigger pain to find them and get them out. But if the intelligence got it wrong and they're larger, it's going to make sense. I mean, they only gave us a 52% chance of victory, which, for only up against 500 guys, I don't know why an army of nearly 10,000, as you can see with 30 guns, would have that much of a problem. Trying to find where the Union's coming in. It looks like over here, the east is going to be the way. They also have one down here at the Baltimore Pike, so... And there's already a blue star up here on Wolf Hill. So I'm thinking deploy where they are and then just rush to the southeast of Gettysburg. I don't see any other blue besides those. Send out the skirmishers because they're going to move faster, and it'll just help me find their forces so that we can get through this. Again, if it's Cav, I'll try to do the same thing I've done in previous battles and not send my skirmishers after him, because Cav still seems to be unable to engage well against skirmished infantry. Alright. This thing playing. So if they're there. But they're also over here. Why don't we just deploy here? Get those guys there. Move up. And yeah, see about numbers. They're only expecting about 1,000 Union. 1,000 fighting Union. Alright. Because last time they kind of went a really strange way around my forces in a way I would never have expected them to move. I'm going to cast a wider net with my skirmishers this time. Oops, we got him. Okay. And we'll withdraw to Culp's Hill. Swing way around just to make sure, but I'd bet that's the only brigade we'll run into. Johnston's position is going to be a bit... it's not terrible. Actually, I didn't see how much cover is there. I guess it does kind of appear on the map here. Alright. And they're driving for Culp's Hill, so get over there. Get over there. I like the smoke. I like the smoke. I like the sound. Rain and that map, it's growing on me. I think some people were underwhelmed with maybe the kind of flat look of the models. Developers explained the rationale made sense to me. They're looking for scale. And they gotta work with the resources they have. They already have the victory up here. Glad that was quick. Oh, now we're back. The mouse cursor wouldn't move for a second. I was like, oh boy. Yeah, and this one, enemy's national morale drops. Seems like by more than in some of our other battles, and our military experience rose more than in some of the other larger battles. It might be because... I don't know if it's the kind of kill-to-death ratio or the casualty ratio. I mean, 600 to 1 is rough, but they didn't lose 600 to me. They came in with those wounded. Okay, so with that, we have Baltimore. Department of Virginia's down here. This is a fort, I believe. Is it? Why is it not showing up as a fort? It looks like there's two things. There's Cushing's squadron and somebody else's squadron. That shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, and so now it does appear. This is the Fort McHenry garrison. Okay. Alright, we're going up to Harrisburg there. I will say this is different than the other CSA 61 campaigns I've done, in that in those other campaigns the Union would be flooding the map with armies that were maybe only a regiment or two strong, but they'd still be in the area, particularly out in the northwest. I feel like I've seen this before. Industrialization 3. Try to take Hampton's division and have them construct a fort. See if that'll hold. No, I can put one right on. My goodness, Williamsburg. And so we'll see if putting fort there and garrisoning it is enough to hold it. If we do, that's something I'll try to do in some of these other locations that switch back. Fredericksburg was the same way. We'll try to get a fort going there. We got 6 invasions. Okay. See, here's the national support. I suppose that this is in response to the policy that I selected. Seizing surplus slaves and so on, and so I'm guessing that's what that's modeling there. This, I guess, looks right. I'm actually not sure where their 45,000 men are. I'm more sure where my 91,000 are. Obviously, casualties and relations need to catch up, but I think the rest of this looks pretty good. We're moving. I'm not trying to make you dizzy. I'm just trying to get the music to trigger. Just send them up to Buffalo. Okay, we take kind of this string of cities that runs almost exactly east to end in Albany, then march maybe part of the way south. If there are forts here, it looks like there's something here. We'll bypass those. I'm not interested in forcing issues that don't have to be forced. It's the Department of Virginia. Coming up for a fight. They don't really matter. There's only 115 of them. There's not much fighting that's going to be had. Yeah, Washington's well surrounded by Fort Morgan. All right. I'm going to move Hampton out, see if that solves the problem of Williamsburg reverting to Union control after I leave it. I'm not sure if it had to do with the proximity to the Union fort on the far eastern end of the peninsula. That might have been it, but it seemed equally close to Richmond. Buffalo. And we'll send you east from there. The Union's getting ready for the Long War. It's pretty good. I mean, by April 26th, they've realized that that's what they need to do. I think they also need to worry about the short war, but the rate things are going 3 years. Service is an ambitious idea for the Union. Alright, we have a siege. Try to slow things down if we can. We trip ourselves on a fort, uh-oh. Looks like we did. Well, that's what happens when you're not paying attention. I'm not sure where that fort is. It gives us a 50% chance, it looks like. Yeah, so this is one of the bugs I reported to them, which is that as soon, I guess one of the good sides of besieging something, actually, why even bother fighting it? Probably should just retreat. Yeah, but at least I didn't lose anybody. One of the upsides I was mentioning to besieging fort is that it, right, European support waivers, because we lost no men, is that it rapidly increases that looks cool. Alright. 20 First Corps. I think this was the group that had some men. They had like 10,000. Yeah. Alright. That should be good, and this will be a good battle to end things on for this episode. And we'll see if those Beauregard's forces, if they end up interminably broken after this. Oh! Well. I guess they withdrew. It may not look like much, but that actual notification that morale and experience doesn't change is actually an improvement. It's one that I noted to them in one of my bug reports, is that frequently this would raise our military experience by 0.2, and battles with hundreds or thousands would raise it 0.07 or 0.1. It would be significantly less. Okay, yeah, I doubt that that's what's going to cause support for the Union to waver, but... Alright, Army of the Potomac is here. They do have the 27th Army. It ain't much, but it's... Yeah, no, it just ain't much. I don't want to run into the fort behind it. Go up here for now, since we're not going to have... Oh, this is that's Porterfield. We're not going to have him. South Carolina militia. They're retreating, so they didn't break. Somehow these are showing up red. But I don't think that means... Yeah, they're showing up as Great Britain, which is fine. And it tells us where Beauregard's going to go. You can get there a little faster. Let's go see how the experiment with Hampton worked out. Yeah, we're stuck in the continually being reminded of industrialization 3. I hesitate to say it worked, but for now, it looks like Williamsburg has remained Confederate. So, that being the case, the plan will be to build a fort right on Fredericksburg. Find a suitable place for one. I'm gonna wait till it stops being red. Not sure if it's being red because I can't actually build there, or because I'm just not close enough to build there. Alright, we'll ignore that for now. Huh. Beat the First Corps, but when I left Harrisburg, they still took it. Well, we don't have much else to do here. We'll probably lose Baltimore too. Oh. Well, the fort in. I don't know if it would matter. I mean, if the Union has much trouble taking forts as we do, We'll see. Johnston's level up on his own. Forces seem to be a bit light, though. What do we have? We have the aid. Not really sure. I get the explanation, and it sounds cool, but I don't know practically what does this mean. Does this mean that when I withdraw from a battle, that's something we do? That's cool, but I don't find myself, except for sieges, I don't find myself withdrawing that much. Partisan brigades. I kind of like those. Kind of like bushwhackers, too. Yeah, I don't know what distracting the enemy. I'm not as clear as to what that means. If that's something that applies at the macro level, this level of the map, or if that's something that works in battle, or both, might need a bit more clarification. So we're here, that's good. Actually, since the other army is going north, is this, I guess, what is this? Elmira. My apologies to the inhabitants of Ithaca. Binghamton's down here. Might be able to hang out around here. Alright, I think... I don't know if you're close enough. It's gotta be like in Fredericksburg. Alright, we still can't build a fort here. So we won't, but we are gonna move Magruder all the way into Fredericksburg and then see if that opens up a new chance. We're building farms this far north into Pennsylvania. Well, good for us. Actually, I should go back and check that Williamsburg is still holding Confederate. It is. That's makes me more confident that this is going to work. It's interesting. They don't really show... Well, I didn't look, but I didn't see them before until now. Can we build a fort here? It would seem like we could. Okay, so we can build one there. There's a Fort Niagara there. Huh. Kind of want to get something close to Buffalo so they can't skirt the defense. Oh, that looks pretty close. We'll try that. We'll see if that allows us to hold Buffalo until they besiege it. I want to stop around Chicago and build a city, or build a fort. It already is a city. Force the militia's leveled up. Again, not exactly sure what that's going to do, but we'll see. Alright, we're almost there. Poor McCullough's long march to the middle of nowhere. But now that he's there, he's arrived in nowhere. I'm trying to build a fort. That's pretty darn close. I'm trying to build a fort there and see if it cuts their select. That's interesting. I don't know if that assigned perk came up because we went to select some to build a building, or if it was just a combination of the building and other experience it's earned. The units earned. Alright, it's good time to stop. Ew, why are you moving fast now? Oh, you're on the railroad. That makes sense. And I have moved fast. Very good. Good. Stopped. Build a fort. fort look larger than the other forts. Apparently, I'll try it. See what happens. Now that didn't cause Chase to level up, so that's not thank you. Where's our boy Beauregard? Alright, they're eager, that's good. We're in Cleveland. That's fine. Let's stay on land. But let's not leave yet. If the lesson we're learning is that building forts is a good thing... Oh, Department of Ohio's about to run into me. That's interesting. I mean, by interesting, I mean probably terrible for them, but maybe not. Where are we gonna do this? Is this the closest I can do it? Fine, we'll do it there. Alright, this one's gone a bit long, not too many battles to get excited about, so hopefully more of that in wants to come. Oh, we do have a battle. We do have a battle. Is it going to be a good one? I don't think so. Oh yeah, it is. Let's do it if we can. But we're going to wrap this episode here, and if we fight the next battle, that'll be where episode 8 gets started. Alright guys, until then, take it easy.